Welcome to another video on Pionex bots. In this video we're going to talk about DCA future bots, how you create one, we will create one, and in the end of the video I will show you how you can actually also use them to not earn USDT, but the coin you probably are interested in. Alright, let's go. So we currently are on the web interface. And when you go here to the bot section, you will not find it. I really don't like that about Pionex, as the app and the web application provide partially different features. So for example, if you would go to Spot, Trading Bot, you can see the DCA bot here, but on the future section, you cannot see it. For whatever reason, the app and the website have different functionalities. So to actually be able to create a DCA futures bot, we need to switch over to the app. So I currently have open the app and I'm on the section of the bots. Then we hit create. And here you can see futures DCA bot. When you open that one, you can now create a futures DCA bot. What actually is a DCA bot? Well, DCA stands for dollar cost average, meaning the idea behind this is, for example, if you would open that one as a long bot, it will buy and buy and buy more when the price drops and then sell everything at a specific time. Sounds a bit like a grid bot, right? Well, yes and no. The difference is a grid bot always trades and sells directly what it bought. A DCA bot will accumulate more and more and more until it reaches a certain point. So for example, we can have a look at one of my DCA bots that is currently running. It's not going too well currently, but for the sake of argument, I tried one with a very interesting coin, let's say. So this is a very minor investment, but you can see on the placed one, this is a long bot. So it started at 0.25 cent roughly, and when the price dropped and dropped and dropped and bought more and more and more, and if the price is reaching 0.2496 again, he will sell everything at once. So this would net as 27% profit in one go, but in the meantime it will not sell anything, so you will not have actual grid arbitrage trades. So when we create a new one, we will do just that. I am interested actually to create one on the BNB PTC perpetual pair. I will go in detail about why in a minute, but let's first create one. I am interested in going short. What does that mean? It means in the long term, I think BTC will rise more than Binance, or Binance will drop faster than BTC. So the proportions are going back into the BTC space, because BNB just pumped a lot. But as I said, I will go into detail in a minute. You can start with copy bot, and I normally don't like the initial settings, so you customize, and now we can see what we have. So the first one is at position price, meaning as we are short in this case, how much does the price rise before we next time buy something. So for example, as we can see here, every 0.382% of price increase, this would buy another portion of BNB. So I don't like that. I'm normally going about 0.8. And how much does the price in my case need to fall until we take profit? The initial setting is 1.732%. I'm always going for around 3%. And the last one, or the next few ones, are the safety orders. We will get to them later on, but let's open up the advanced settings. The most important one for me is volume scale. I really like to reset it to 1. What does volume scale mean? It is set currently to 1.1. It's like a multiplier. So the first cell, as we are going short, would be, let's say, 100. The next one then would be multiplied by 1.1, so it would be 110, and so forth and so forth. So the further you go down, the more volume you put into one. So as you can see, it's also, depending on what you set here, you can only adjust the maximum safety orders. So we are resetting that to 1. I don't want to have this enabled. Next, I will set 40 safety orders. 50 is the maximum, so this means how often does he actually, in my case, sell more. Auto reserve off, I always turn it off, and 10 is too much leverage. I'm going for 6. Then we put in how much we are going to invest in this bot. So I'm going to invest 0.026 Bitcoin. There's a 0 missing. 0.0026 Bitcoin. Now you can see here what the actual leverage would be and the liquidation price. So as we are in a short bot, the liquidation price is 0.012885. Alright, the last one we can do is hit preview. And now you can see basically every order that is now would be set. So we are starting, as this is a short bot, starting at the bottom with an initial price of 0.009227. And if it's rising about 0.8, you would sell more and more and more and more. So two things you can decide and play around with. What you want to do. So safety orders has the benefit that the more, it's like a grid. The more safety orders you have, the more your investment is spread. So it's always a trade-off, right? If you have only 10 safety orders and you invest 1 Bitcoin, it would always sell at 0.1 intervals. But I have 40, so it's split further down. But you also have a lower position at the beginning, so your liquidation price is moving out further. It's a bit safer, that's why it's called safety orders. And as well, the position price rising, how much difference between this is basically from when you're coming from the grid bots, it's a bit like the expected profit you do per trade. So it's like, okay, the further out you go, the longer you hold a smaller position, and this can also affect your take profit and your liquidation price. So with everything set up, we basically just hit create. And compared to a grid bot, it starts not directly with 50% of the one converted to the coin. It starts with almost nothing, but it will go further out the more, in my case, the price is rising, and the more Binance short position will be opened. So why am I actually interested in this bot? The main thing is the funding rate. It has currently a funding rate of 0.032%, and it ranges between 0.05 to 0 from what I've seen. Most of the time it's between 0.4 and 0.2. And as we are going short, we are getting paid every 8 hours this funding rate. I could just open a short leverage position on this pair, but I don't know how much further Binance will be pumping. That's why I'm feeling way more comfortable with holding this DCA bot. Yes, I will get less funding rate because my initial holding position in a short is quite low. But on the other hand, I have time and I don't want to risk too much. And maybe I am wrong. Maybe Binance will be completely ripping apart Bitcoin and will rise and rise and rise and rise. I don't know. So I'm feeling comfortable letting that sit. And as long as it's not going to my liquidation price, I will always collect this funding rate. And from my observations, I have been observing this pair the last couple of months. When Bitcoin is getting stronger compared to Binance, the funding rate drops. And if Binance is getting stronger compared to Bitcoin, the funding rate rises. And this is basically exactly what we are betting on here. If Bitcoin is getting stronger, our short position is getting into the profit. And if Binance is getting stronger, the funding rate is rising and we get every 8 hours paid funding rate. At least that's the idea. This is no financial advice. You should do your own research if this is something you would be feeling comfortable doing. But this is what I have done already in the past. I have 2 other running, but I was a bit early in the entry. So we need a couple of more days or weeks if nothing happens, if the price stays around this area, to be in the green, but the funding rate is helping. It's helping very much. So, but this of course is only because the funding rate is positive and this is a short bot, but I've never seen the funding rate in this pair drop to negative. Alright, now you can see you can't use this with a coin M futures. So if you would, for example, you want to try it out and you cannot use that. So you cannot, in a normal way, like you would go for a coin M futures grid bot, you cannot earn BTC or Ethereum. But what you can do, this is my promised trick or advice, if you go for cross pair, and now you see you have the pair USDT BTC, which is basically exactly the opposite of BTC USDT, which you would normally do in a normal trade. So, and if you use that as a futures DCA bot, you actually need to invest Bitcoin and you earn Bitcoin, or you can do the same for Ethereum or whatever else is available. But now you need to remember everything is flipped. So you can see it's currently 0 point, a lot of zeros, and then 8319. So if you would normally want to have a long DCA bot on Bitcoin, meaning you expect in the long term to Bitcoin rise compared to USD dollar value, you need in this case to open a short bot. This is very important because this is flipped. Everything is flipped. And that's why you also invest BTC in that USD. I have run in my history, which I already closed because I was happy with the profits. And I was also just trying out how this works. So this is the way you could use DCA future grids in Pionex and as well earn the coin instead of the USD. If you have any questions or experience using them, please let me know. And if you want to know about something else, leave a comment and I would really enjoy a like and a subscribe, and see you in the next one.